Sorky, Pati, SOS, Kangho, RorO, INnoVation, Bomber, Symbol. 2013 WCS Korea Season 1 MANGOSIX GSL Code S Round 8.
Greetings from Seoul, Korea, and welcome to the GSL Code S. We're in the round of 8. I'm Tasteless, and with me is Sartosis. How you doing, man?
Well, Tasteless, I don't think I've seen a better day because Chung brought in the snacks, and it's a really good selection. We got chips and little pies and all sorts of stuff. So, I don't have to say it, but I do love Chung.
And to top
bring
that
those
all
all
up,
in. So nice.
to top that all up, today we have INnoVation playing.
Oh, yeah, that's good, too.
That's right,
Almost as good as my little snacks that I won.
Can this guy win the whole tournament? I'm going to say yes. What do you think?
Yeah, he can. He can. I can see several people winning it. I can see Sulky winning, SOS winning, INnoVation winning, and RorO winning. Now,
which of those four?
I see, it's all loopy and stuff, like who gets versus who in the finals. Like, if INnoVation goes to the finals, I think only SOS can take him out. Because if he beats RorO, his TVZ's too good.
I got to agree with you on that.
If Sulky beats SOS and hits RorO, who might possibly be able to beat INnoVation, I think Sulky's ZvZ is better than RorO's.
This is a very good point.
I like it more, at least.
It's funny because we're talking about RorO like he's the underdog here.
Yeah, the defending champion of the GSL.
Yeah, the final champion of Wings of Liberty. And, it's incredible that he's, now we're here and we're looking at INnoVation. And we saw INnoVation before,
And we thought he was going to win before, too.
And he was, I've never seen an RTS player play as well as INnoVation.
Yeah, he's doing fantastically. So we'll see if he can keep it up because we were talking to the Samsung coach, and he seems to think that RorO can take this 3-1.
Yeah. I think it's a pretty tall order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And coaches don't always say that. When I ask coaches a lot of times, they're
we get a lot more candid responses backstage.
Sometimes they just shake their head and look at the ground because they know that their player's dead. But this is for real. This might happen.
Look, if INnoVation wins this, I'm curious how many more GSLs can he win? Because he's so perfect. I mean, this is a guy, in case you're new to the GSL, he plays in such a way that the moment that he realizes he has a definite lead, he all-ins with his SCVs.
Yeah,
he sends all of his workers. he gets the game so well, he sends everything at once.
Yeah.
And wipes out his opponent. It's like we've never seen something quite like this up until now. This is not like a 5-minute time and attack.
He's pretty good. Yeah. He's pretty strong. And we're going to be watching him against RorO today, of course, as mentioned. And then don't forget, we actually have an absolutely fantastic match on the other side. Bomber against Symbol. Two heavy hitter macro players with their own styles. So that's actually going to be a really fun match. But no one's looking at those two thinking, wow, one of these guys is going to win this GSL.
I feel like that part of the bracket is like the underdog. Those two guys together are the underdogs here, I should say. But RorO INnoVation, I think that's a real match to watch for today. Now, Symbol, you can't count this guy out, though. He's a guy who's wanted to be a finalist and a champion for a long time.
Yeah,
he just hasn't quite made it.
The finals, in fact.
Yeah, excuse me, yeah.
So, well, we'll see how far he can get. But first, it's going to be RorO against INnoVation.
All right, this is one of the biggest matches here we have to offer the GSL. These two guys shaking hands and now going to their respective booths. Now, it's important to note here, this is going to be a very defining moment here in this group because of these two guys. Yeah. What if, we haven't really brought this up, but RorO could just win this GSL.
He could.
You can't count him out.
Man. What if he wins 2 in a row? What does that mean?
He absolutely could.
Is he the new Zerk Bonjour if he does?
He would actually literally be the new Zerk Bonjour. Guys, get out there. Tell your friends to tune in here at GOMTV.net. This is going to be an excellent match. And look, this could be really close. This could be incredibly one-sided.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I think that if there's a 3-0, it comes out of INnoVation. And other than that, it's going to be a 3-2 or a 3-1.
I got to agree with you. I do not see RorO 3-0-ing this.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
That would be quite impressive indeed.
Yeah.
If he 3-0s it, it's because he figured out something completely new that we haven't seen yet.
Well, RorO's got a lot to offer. This is one of the most recent best players of all time. And, INnoVation's got a lot of hype out of him. around him, I should say.
Yeah.
But he's not yet a champion
That is
of
true.
Code S.
Well, we'll see how this one goes, Tasteless. They both have beaten a lot of great players on their way here, but the INnoVations, look at who he's beaten. He took out Hyun, GSL finalist. Rain twice, that's the OSL reigning champion. Took out Flash and Life. Like, he actually
He's a legend killer.
He's beaten all the players that could also win GSL.
Yeah. He's defeated a nerd pantheon, essentially.
Yeah, a nerd pantheon.
We summed that up pretty well.
Yeah.
So
He basically has been climbing Mount Olympus, and there's only a couple left.
He's like Kratos from God of War.
Oh.
So here's a little bit more details right now about these two players. Look at that, 8-2.
Both of them versus the other race in the last 10, which is pretty darn astounding.
That's incredible.
Yeah, because they're playing a lot in Pro League as well as here in GSL.
Yeah.
So pretty crazy. And don't forget, whoever wins this is in the WCS season finals. Which is a very big deal. A lot of points.
Very important to keep note of.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing I'm asking myself is, what kind of style are we going to see from INnoVation? Are we going to continue to see some of these all-ins, like late-game all-ins?
No, I don't think so. I think he's going to play a very standard, solid TVZ. Just a lot of Marines, medevacs, and mines, maybe some Marauders in there. But I think it's going to be very standard, very macro-based, 3-base, and moving out.
On to our map lineup, by the way. We have Daybreak, Aklon Waste, Whirlwind, Atlas, and Red City.
All right. Nice set of maps. A lot of macro going to be going on today, I think.
It gets a little fuzzy here in the last two maps. As you can see, we don't have a lot of games played by these players on those maps.
Yeah, that is true. I think that a really important map here for RorO is going to be Aklon. If he can win that, I think he can take the series, but I think that's going to be one of the most important maps.
Yeah, very well said. Now, Whirlwind, you got to keep in mind, that's a really strong map for Zerg.
Yeah.
We expect
also for
Zerg to win
INnoVation.
that.
Very strong map for INnoVation.
Well, I think any map is pretty strong for INnoVation at this point in time.
I think you nailed that one on the head.
By the way, the weather in Seoul is absolutely beautiful today.
It is. It is unbelievably nice out. It's t-shirt weather. I love it.
It was a frozen hell a few months ago.
Yeah, about 6 months out of the year it is here.
Yeah, and by the way, if you ever get a chance to come to Seoul, Korea, come to our studio. Entry is free.
Yeah.
We're here at Samsung Station in the Gangnam area. And on to our first match, it's going to be on Daybreak.
Yep. Now, Daybreak, definitely a map that can be split up pretty well. Now, don't forget, RorO is a macro Zerg, normally speaking. So this is going to be a map that, he's going to feel pretty comfortable on overall.
We should go to late game on this map.
Yeah, I would say so.
This should be where the fourth bases for both sides, the ones closer to the middle, are occupied. Probably a lot of pushing in that middle lane. But we'll see. All right, so get ready. I'm Tasteless. With me is our toast. So we're bringing you the best esports action of all time here at the GSL Code S.
Still loading.
Weed for it.
There we go.
All right, and now to intro our players over here in the upper right. We have a GSL Code S champion. He is
삼성칸 RorO.
That was a sick zoom in, by the way.
Yeah. Legend's
always
pretty
stepping
talented.
it up. Yeah,
He's going to be a legend one day.
he is a legend.
Well, he is a legend because he named himself it, but one day he'll be named that by the people.
And in the bottom left, in my personal opinion, the best RTS player of all time, he is
STX Soul INnoVation.
All right. Well, I think that this is going to be a pretty standard map. I think that INnoVation is going to try to not pull out anything too crazy because I think his standard straight-up play is just too good. And he might be thinking that. Maybe he might be thinking, well, why risk anything on a cheese that RorO may be able to stop?
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, it looks like it's going to be a command center first by INnoVation.
Not too much of a shocker. RorO doesn't strike me as one of these early aggressive players.
No, he certainly doesn't, and I don't think
And that's
Fats'
usually
new
the sign-
strategy is spread enough yet to make that proxy hatch and kill him with it.
Well, it looks like, as we predicted so far, it should be a pretty long game.
Yeah. You know, these TVZ overall, I would say, is a pretty long matchup anyways.
That's probably our longest matchup, actually, in StarCraft 2. I think it's gotten longer
Could be.
than TVT.
Could be.
It was a little bit longer in Wings
TVT
of
goes
Liberty.
up and down a lot
Yeah.
in its matchup, like length of time, because it's gone through so many iterations of now it's mech, now it's bio, now it's mech and bio, now it's Hellbat drops and that type of thing. So kind of varies a
If you
little
look
bit.
at TVZ as a matchup, it's actually gotten it's had quite a path that it's followed.
They're as long as they used to be.
Huh?
I don't think they're as long as they used to be because Zerg would
They're
sit back
definitely
to
not as long as
brood,
Wings of Liberty.
Infester, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
But-
that was we never didn't see Hive in TVZ by the end of Wings of Liberty.
Yeah, that is unless
In
it
fact,
was
the
DRG
Wings-
playing.
In fact, yeah, that's very true. In fact, the Wings of Liberty finals, I think, was the ultimate metaphor for Wings of Liberty. It was Broodlords.
Many people
Broodlings hitting each other with Broodlords. It was two unstoppable armies that could not attack into each other.
And no one lost any value during any of that.
Yes.
It was fun times. Well, Heart of the Storm definitely is showing a lot more variety with the different builds and different styles that we see going into that late game. Not many stalemates, really.
No. Now, Heart of the Storm has definitely heated stuff up quite a bit. All right, now we have the bunker almost finishing here. Neither player can really touch the other one right now. And nor will they even attempt to really attack each other too early on here.
Well, you know, these are both really macro-heavy, stylistically speaking, players. And to play, you know, if you want to choose a map where you can have like a big macro game on very easily from anybody, it's this map. So this might be where they really feel each other out and say, all right, how good are we in relation to each other? Let's have that macro game.
This is our oldest map here at the GSL. It's soon to be retired.
Yeah.
But it's definitely proven to be one of our best maps.
Oh, it's certainly had so many epic games that I can't even barely remember one because I've seen so many.
It's a big blur. Actually, that's what's so funny about it. You know, if you look at how many games we've actually cast, and sometimes people ask me about a game a few seasons ago, and I look at them and I'm like, you know how many games we've casted, man?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, games that are...
It's a big blur now.
Nowadays, there's... people used to say there was a lot of StarCraft to watch. Oh, there was nothing to watch compared to now, man.
No kidding.
With the WCS, the 3 different regions that all have like a Code S-like tournament and a Code A-like tournament, as well as the qualifiers into said tournaments, as well as all the other tournaments in the world, the team leagues and the extra cups and all that. It's like...
It's the viewership is now super saturated.
It has been.
You cannot actually watch everything.
It's impossible. I've tried. I've been trying.
No, it's not doable, man.
I need that, like, mind regeneration mask from that James Bond movie, man, where the guy only slept 1 hour a day.
Which movie? Which James Bond movie was that?
I don't know. It was a Pierce Brosnan movie.
Are you much of a James Bond guy?
I really like it. I don't go out of my way, but I really like it.
I think the greatest thing that ever happened in James Bond was the one on Nintendo 64.
Yeah, I think
that was the greatest thing that James Bond ever did.
It may have been.
All right, we got 2 Hellions coming up here now. All right, no spine crawlers here. The Queens will drive the Hellions out. And they can confirm there is that third base here.
Yep. Both players taking their thirds, and both players getting their upgrades going at pretty much the same time. The 2 Evo is going to finish right before the 2 Evas.
Speaking of which, we were talking about James Bond a second ago. Did you ever play Perfect Dark?
Yes.
Is that any good? I never really played that.
GameCube controllers are terrible.
That wasn't on GameCube. That was on...
No, Perfect Dark was on GameCube. Oh, wait, no, okay, I'm sorry. I was thinking of a different game. Yeah, I did play Perfect Dark, and yes, it was really good.
I never played it. I was just curious.
No, it was fun. It was not as good as...
GoldenEye?
Yeah, but it was good. I was thinking of the other James Bond game for GameCube where I was, like, totally disappointed.
Oh, yeah.
Well, these Hellions going to chase down these Zerglings, trying to get some sort of scouting going.
Now, as you can see, again, not too much engagement early on here. Nobody can really touch each other. The Hellions are going to give the Zerg map control here. Now, the Zerg does have at least some ability to scout here with the Overlords, but as far as everything goes on the ground, and that includes the Watchtowers, the Terran is going to reign supreme here.
Yeah, Well, you know, I'm actually really happy at what we're seeing here because this is going into that big, heavy macro game. The one thing we can say is that RorO has that Baneling Nest timed out exactly to the layer. So we could see him get instant Baneling speed and put aggression right thereafter. But, you know, it doesn't have to be like all-in aggression or anything like that.
All right. As you can see now, the starport's just now finished. Going to go ahead and reactor that. Get a lot of medevacs over here. Very, very calm game so far.
Yes. This is... Well, this is pretty standard is what it is, you know?
It's very worthwhile.
This is what you want to copy and actually practice on the ladder.
Yeah, actually, very good point. I want to echo that here. If you guys are watching this and want to learn and practice a certain build, what these guys are doing is definitely the way to go.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that Baneling speed on the way, 1-1 is going to finish. He is making a group of Lings right now. We'll see if he keeps that up. Because again, when Baneling speed finishes and you have those 1-1 upgrades, that is a great time to start hitting. You know, they're going to still be pretty low on Widow Mines, even though by the time Baneling speed's done, he probably should have about 10. But we'll see if RorO actually wants to turn on that aggression. Because if it doesn't go well, then that's a lot of resources that you put in. A lot of larvae you put in, a lot of drones you could have had.
Looks like he spotted the Spire right before it went ahead and finished.
There's a good amount of Banelings and Zerglings on the way, so it looks like he should be poking and pushing a little bit. He always could sit back and be expecting an attack and try to crush it, because if you do get about one good army crush at this level, then you're in very good shape.
Creep spread almost a halfway across the map here. And it looks like, yeah, we're going to have just a little bit of downtime here. Terran walling in. That's actually very important to wall in that third base over there.
Watch out, Tasis. A Mutalisk is on the way.
Careful. Also, +1 air attack as well. But you want to get that third base walled off entirely.
That Mutalisk is going to pop out of there and be like, you won't think it's so funny, Tasis, when I have my +1 attack upgrade.
I have 3 glaives. I can hit you, Artosis, and Mr. Che across the casting booth.
I'm like, well, Mr. Che has +1 armor, so you're basically screwed on that one. All right, here we go, Tasis. This is a lot of Widow Mines in here, and the Hellions are all still alive.
The push has started. The Lings and Banelings, we're going to attack there, but back off as the Widow Mines begin to burrow. Now clean up all these creep tumors. He's very close to the 4th base here. He forced out a stem. A few more Banelings are about to hatch.
Excellent control so far, and he's killed a ton of active creep tumors, so that is a big deal. 2-2 on the way, though. More Mutalisks popping up, and even Burrow coming for RorO.
All right, looks like he's going to go up here for another angle of approach right now. I'm going to clean up the creep at the top. Another scan goes down, clean up those creep tumors.
You know what? Now, Stefano may be retiring to become a doctor, man, but with the precision that I watch INnoVation play with, I think he might want to become a brain surgeon if he ever decides to quit StarCraft, because he's like walking, he's like, all right, creep on this side, gone. Walks over this side, creep on this side, gone.
This guy should
kill the rocks.
This guy should defuse bombs for a living, man.
Dude, he cleared up both creep sides, so he can't be counterattacked as easily, so he can rally through the center and kill the 4th base.
Yeah,
INnoVation is,
that's actually how good he is, man.
He is a brutal player, man. This is going to be awesome.
He's stimming once again up here.
His 2-2 about to finish. Notice how 2-2 and the +1 armor are going to finish at the same time.
These guys are perfectly synced up right now. All right, now Zerg being very smart right now. Cannot go and engage there because of the burrowed Widow Mines. Now also know the Terran army is... hold that thought. I was going to say the Zerg army is somewhat stuck up here. It looks like INnoVation may have just cornered him.
Yeah, he trapped quite a few units. Can RorO actually make these effective? Can he hit the Banelings on anything? It doesn't look like it. INnoVation being way too good on his control.
Look at this guy's control.
Yeah, he did not
Jesus,
lose very
man.
much.
All right, now another attack coming up over here. Near the front, the Banelings are spreading out right now. But so far, INnoVation's control is just too good. The Baneling unable to get down there and connect with the SCVs.
Oh, a nice mine hit there on the Mutas. A lot more Mutas on the way, and a lot more Zerglings as well. Now, INnoVation does have to be careful because he is low on health on a lot of these Marines.
All right, he's backing up now. And it looks like the Banelings are about to hatch. The 4th base is being secured. Meanwhile, the 5th base at the bottom right is being taken as well.
Well,
oh my God. Another 2 good hits, actually.
That's brutal.
Really bruising that army.
A lot of blood there, Tasis. Well,
another scan comes down here.
the siege tank coming up as well.
Notice the Terran spread.
That's going to make it really hard for these banelings to come in. He does have a decent creep spread through the center, but as you can see, INnoVation has stifled the creep spread quite a bit, and things like this move up here to the high ground are a lot slower.
A drop over here in the bottom right. The Zerg Army turning around trying to save it. It's now down to half health. Will they be able to get there in time?
Looks like, yeah, I think they'll save
yep,
it here.
you should just barely save it here.
But the next drop definitely could kill it off, so he's going to have to be very careful about that.
Yep. Now Stimmy to beginning to edge forward here. A few lings getting baited into this. And now the Mutas and the Banelings are going to come in here into the middle again.
Yeah, he just killed off quite a few Widow Mines there. You know what I really like about this Stasis is that he has one siege tank with him. That's like kind of throwing a wrench into the gears of
we don't see the siege tank Widow Mine combination very much.
No, not really.
It's usually one or the other.
Yeah. Well, here we go. The huge attack coming in, but he connects actually pretty well with those. Thing is, there's not a lot of Banelings left.
Yeah, and the Banelings are really the meat of that army, the one that's going to do all the damage. The Mutas are all going to go down now. This may be the tipping point here, and it's 175 supply to 116, and GG.
Wow.
Damn, well, INnoVation is so good.
Yeah, he really is. That was. I think that was exactly textbook for INnoVation. Like, that is exactly what he will do against you if you go Mutiling Bane. Exactly to the T. He removed
so
both
perfect.
sides of creep tumors and then went through the center with his just never-ending rally push. And RorO tried to run around and get something done with his Mutalisk Banelings, but INnoVation saw it and just chased it down, very patiently killed it off, and then continued his push.
Yeah. I love, actually, out of that entire game, I think my favorite point was the moment where INnoVation cornered the Zerg army of Lings, Mutas, and Banelings in the upper left.
Yeah.
He just isolated that.
That was the most important part.
We never actually see that.
Yeah.
Again, with a Terran against a Zerg, with a bio army.
Yeah.
Just move in there.
He chased that stuff down, man. I gotta tell you, the longer StarCraft 2 is around, the smaller some of these big maps feel. You know, I feel like players are getting so big that a map like Daybreak that used to be so big and you could run around like that. INnoVation knows exactly the movement speeds of everything. Well, any pro player would, but he knows that he can chase that down completely. You know, this really superb play there by INnoVation. You know, the thing is, RorO had a good idea, but he's going to have to execute it a bit better. If he wants to run by and do some damage, he can't be caught like that again.
Let's see if RorO can come back or if INnoVation's going to continue to close this out.